I'm Tania Rogers, and you're listening to Mindful Hustler, the podcast helping entrepreneurs get out of their heads and onto building their dreams. Together, we're building businesses while balancing minds. Let's dive in.
So today we get to sit down with the brilliant Briana Taylor, an AI product marketer who's on a mission to help small and medium-sized businesses work smarter with the power of AI. We talk about everything from breaking into the tech world as a woman of color and how she balances her dynamic career with her love of travel, creativity, and personal style. Brianna is the kind of person who turns curiosity into strategy and soft life moments into sources of inspiration. Whether you're dreaming of a career in tech, learning to build your personal brand, or just trying to understand how AI fits your business, this episode is for you. Brianna, welcome to the show.
Oh, hello. Thank you for having me. It's like so awesome to be here and being on the podcast and being able to chat with you about all things. It's been a minute, so I'm like really excited to dive in, and I'm so proud of you with your podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It has been a minute. A little backstory. So, not only is Bree my sorority sister, she's also my pro fight. So, meaning she had a huge hand in ushering me into Delta Land. And we also used to live together. We're old roommates. We lived together
Yes,
in the city in New York over like a decade ago. And I mean, Bree, back then, I feel like we were just like figuring our lives out.
we surely were. We still figuring it out, but like back then it was definitely more chaotic.
It was chaotic. I remember even just like searching for our apartment, like the lengths that we had to go to find an apartment in New York City on our budget. And just even like with space because the New York City apartments are like boxes. So it was like, it was
Please
so
don't
fun.
take me back there. Oh my goodness. I can't just like thinking about like how so much has changed since then, like work wise, personal life wise, like wow, it's definitely been a journey.
I know. And you recently moved to Texas. So you're a Texas girl now. How's the move been? You're like, I wouldn't
I'm
take
not
it
gonna claim
there.
it just yet. Not gonna claim it just yet. Definitely Northeast through and through.
Yes.
It's also only been a year. But you asked how was the move?
Yeah. How's Texas been so far? From you moved from wait, where did you I know you lived in Brooklyn for a long time, but where did you just move from?
From Brooklyn.
From Brooklyn. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So really, I took before moving directly from Brooklyn, I did do 6 months of nomading. So I didn't know where I wanted to live like after leaving New York, but I knew I wanted to leave. Like New York City was becoming a lot after just graduating business school. I was like, all right, I want to go home for a year and then figure it out. I didn't want to rush into deciding where I wanted to live post grad school, which is usually what happens. But I was like, no, I want to take a slower, more intentional approach. So I spent a year in Brooklyn and I was like, okay, well, I'm not really saving any money, which once you get like your MBA or maybe grad school in general, you really learn the value of a dollar.
Girl, isn't
And
that the
it's like,
truth?
oh, is it worth it? It's like, actually, it's not. So let me figure out something more cost effective. And also, I hadn't lived outside of New Jersey, New York at any point in my life other than grad school. So I had no idea like where else I would go. So I took that as an opportunity to just throw all my stuff in storage, and I decided to spend a month in DC, another month in Charlotte, about 2 weeks in Atlanta, 3 weeks in Miami, a month in New Orleans, and then a month in Dallas.
Well,
Originally, yeah, it was it was a long
it's a
6 months,
lot.
and after that, I was like, I need my own space that I can come to every day consistently and like build it as like my safe space. Those 6 months were it was definitely eye-opening, in a sense that I got to explore a lot, experience new cities, meet new people. But I definitely missed having a central home that I could call my own that is like my safe space. I was making
Mhm.
Airbnbs my safe space, and in reality, that's somebody else's space. But I was
That
torn
sounds like so
between
fun.
yeah,
It sounds
yeah,
like so fun though. Like it sounds like such a liberating like experience.
it was. If I could do it again, I wouldn't work while doing it.
But you work, I mean, so you worked remotely for those 6 months, or you
Mhm.
work remotely in general.
Yes, yeah. I'm a remote hire. So it's cool to have that flexibility.
Yeah. So you were torn between where? What were you about to say?
Yeah, so I was torn between Charlotte and Dallas, and, like, my ultimate decision was obviously Texas, to move to Dallas, and why I didn't choose Charlotte was because while I knew a few people there from, like, undergrad and, like, old coworkers and such and was able to, like, meet more people there, it's a lot slower than what I would have liked, especially just coming from New York where it's like busy, busy, busy. It's the city that never sleeps. So I was like, I need a slower transition into like suburban life. While I mean Charlotte is, I guess, a major city still. Dallas was like that happy medium between the fastness of New York and the slowness of Charlotte. So I was like, okay, maybe that'll be my next destination after I'm tired of Dallas. But with Dallas, it's like I had grad school classmates here.
Mm.
In the process of like building a more intentional community, I will say the first year was like, okay, I'm gonna do a lot of exploring, and then I got tired of exploring with myself. So now this 2025, I'm focused on building meaningful friendships outside of like my classmates and the community that I have here. I also know people in Houston, and I have family in San Antonio, so it's like family is still somewhere in this huge state that I could like easily access and not feel like I always have to like go back to New Jersey to like get a warm meal or warm hug if I need it.
Yeah, that's I think that's so important to like build community and build some roots wherever you go. Especially as someone who explored the nomad life, like you really do realize how important community is. And I think when we lived together, so we moved to the Bronx, and it's funny, my family is from the Bronx, so I did have family there, but I'm such a suburban girl. Like I can't do the city life. I mean, I was never home, right? Like when
You
would we see
definitely were.
each other?
You were always in New Jersey.
I would be there. I don't even know when I was home. We barely even had furniture. We
Yeah.
didn't even have furniture. Like
Humble beginnings. Humble beginnings for sure.
we had a bed and we had like a dresser and stuff. We didn't even have a kitchen table or anything, a
Living
couch at
furniture.
one
Yeah.
point. I remember we got like some little table because this is way back when I first started dating B. And he
Yeah.
came over one day and he was like, "Where am I gonna eat?" And I was like, "You could just come in the room and sit on the bed." He was like, "No, you need a table and chairs." So I was
Humble
as
beginnings. Yeah.
yes, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I was never home, but I realized a part of that is because I really miss community. And although I had family close by, it just wasn't my community. So I
Go
would
to
always take the
people.
train.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take the train. And then eventually when we moved out, I just moved back to Jersey and then I started commuting into the city and a whole life was had.
Yes. I know that
But
commute must have been super exhausting though.
girl, that's a whole nother story. That was like the first story I told on this podcast was like why I gave up my job in the city. And although the commute wasn't the reason, it just made everything worse. And I
Yes.
just yeah, I hated life. But I want to know how did you get into the tech world? I know you did your MBA. I know you worked for a few major organizations, but what led you to the tech industry?
Yeah. So I actually was interested in the tech industry before business school. I was able to so I've had a few different roles since we moved to New York. I worked in at the time I was in like a sort of a nonprofit publishing company. So from there, I went to WebMD. I was there for about 2.5 years. That's actually the longest in addition to like my current role. Then from there, I went to advertising. So I've noticed with my career, I'm always digging into something deeper within like a previous role. So went to advertising. Then from there, I was like, we're doing a lot of digital projects, and I was like, what would it feel like to work at a tech company? I knew at that point I wanted to go back to school for my MBA, and I was like, okay, well, advertising is exhausting. It never turns off. Hours are long. The commute, like to your point, didn't make it any better. So I started looking specifically in tech, and I was like, how can I apply what I've already done to the tech world? So since I worked at WebMD for a little bit, so that was publishing, and then I worked at a nonprofit publishing company where I focused on higher ed. I said, okay, let's focus on ed tech companies. Landed at a company called 2U. Honestly, don't know if it's still around. But from there, I was exposed to the tech lifestyle, like that flexibility of being able to work from home and wake up in the morning and say, am I my best self to go into the office, or am I my best self to roll over to my desk and like start working? So that flexibility was really great. Was able to get, what is it called? Unlimited PTO. A lot
Uh,
of corporate jobs, like they give you what, 2 to 3 weeks, maybe four, depending on like your level and the company that you're at. I really like the flex, like all the perks from tech was like an eye opener for me. And you get to do really impactful work. So because I was in ed tech, it's like um, the work that I was doing, it impacted graduate programs, undergraduate programs. We were essentially taking the curriculums that professors create and putting them online. So I was like, okay, I can see that end-to-end impact, which is really important for me and like the work that I do and what like keeps me coming out of bed every day to sign
yes.
on to work. Because if I can't see that connection, which I didn't in a lot of my previous roles, I'm like, what is the point of all this? What is the point? So from there, I was like, okay, I want to not be in project management after business school. I want to use it to pivot into marketing, tech marketing or product marketing specifically. And I had my sights set on one of the big four tech companies: Apple, Microsoft, Google, or Meta. And from a culture perspective, I was like, Microsoft is it. It's one of the
Yeah.
more progressive tech companies, that and Apple, but I wasn't really interested in like working on phones and like laptops and devices. I wanted to be on the software side. So in business school, I recruited for their marketing internship. And from there, the internship was about 3 months, which I also did remote because it was the middle of COVID. So that
Yeah.
was an experience in and of itself. And then after my 3 to 4 month internship, I landed the full time offer. So I'm pretty much like a university pipeline.
And that is so important. I have one friend who she talks about that, how like universities need more pipelines, especially in diverse, spaces that need more diversity. It's really important for that. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. So I will say, if people have questions about getting into tech, my pathway was a little different. So usually I get a lot of questions from experienced hires, like professional hires going from one job to another. The route is different. So I'd always try to preface that when I talk through my journey to Microsoft or to tech in general.
So being a woman in tech and also a woman of color in tech, I'm sure you sit in spaces where there aren't many of us. Have you ever felt like you didn't belong? And like what, if you have, what helped you push through?
Imposter syndrome rears its head at the worst times. But one thing that has helped me has been the mentors that I have. I have a few mentors within my team and within the Microsoft ecosystem that have been supportive, remind me that like I do belong here, regardless of the route that I got here. They saw the transferable skills that landed me the job, and I've been growing and delivering high impact work ever since I got here. It also helps to have a supportive manager. My manager is always, I definitely lucked out because before this manager, yeah, we won't even go into that chapter. But my manager that I have now, also really supportive, always making sure that I'm learning and challenging me. And when it comes to like our like interactions with stakeholder teams, there will always be pushback. Like the longer I've been in this role, it's like, okay, I know what I'm talking about. So even though you're pushing back on me, it's like I'm gonna get something out of this exchange, whether it may not be like my initial ask, like the full like scope of what I'm asking for, but I'm gonna get something. So I've had that situation come up a few times, and the way I've like navigated those conversations, sometimes my manager CC'd, sometimes she's not. She'll hear about it later, but there's always like a congratulatory period where she's like, "I love the way you handled that," and I'm like, "Yes," because these people got me messed up.
No, that is important to have mentors along the way. I call it like apprenticeship, especially when you're making your own path and, whether it's your own brand or your own business, you want to see how people do things, but that also takes someone who pulls back the curtain and shows you the ropes and is supportive of your journey. So that's super important. And I know so you work with AI, you help small businesses and creatives use it. What's some like mindset shifts that people should use if someone is like new to AI and maybe they only use like, I don't know, maybe Chat GPT? What's the mindset shift would you say they need?
looking at ChatGPT as an extension of what you already know and what you already can do and like the skills that you have. It's really there to enhance you. It's there to help you move faster, expand your ideas, probably beyond your realm of like possibility. Really just enhance so really think of it as like in addition to your level of expertise. Like you know your business.
Mhm.
ChatGPT may know your industry and be able to give you ideas based on your industry, but you know your business, so you have that context. ChatGPT can
Yeah.
take that context and really just flush out like a full plan for you to go forward with, and also
Right.
accelerate the path to the end of like execution for that.
Right. So you need to power it, even though it can roll out other possibilities. You need to like know your intention. You need to plug in the right things. Think that I know when I first started using it, I thought that it was just like, I don't want something to like do the thinking for me. But the more I use it for my business, I'm like, wow, like I do things at like 10x speed. It gives me like ideas I didn't even think of, and it helps with so much. It's almost like, have you ever heard like the 10-80-10 rule? Like in business, it's like you do 10% and then you roll it out to a team who does 80% and then you come back and you do the other 10%. So using it really as like your team. I feel like it's like my first hire, really.
Exactly. You can definitely generative AI is like kind of like your personal assistant.
Yeah. If a small business wants to use it, what are some recommendations and what are like the basics, like the foundations? Because there's so many apps out there now. It's like every time I'm on Instagram, I see like new little like widgets and like new little, and I'm like, I don't even know. It's overwhelming. So what are the basics, would you say?
Yeah. Let's see. So thinking about like the beginning, if you're an entrepreneur or a business owner that's just starting out with ChatGPT or even your business idea, let's say you just all you have is an idea right now. Like ChatGPT can help you build out a business plan. You'll add the context, the idea that you have, maybe the service or product that you want to provide. It can help you flush out like, okay, this is what your business proposal will look like. This is how you can go about getting clients. This is some of the prices that you should charge for X services or Y products. It can really help you flush out that plan. It can also help you with grant writing if that's something that like you'll want to secure funding for, like a more if you are more of a, like an established business, you can use it for project management. Let's say you want to launch some products or services and like you want to take it to market. It can help you with that basic timeline. How long will it take to do XYZ task? And this is what the full timeline looks like. It could help you create content. That's what a lot of people are using it for now. It could help with carousels. It could write scripts. Like for my Instagram page, the new one that I recently started, I use it for my content series, my AI for SMB content series. It helped me create the scripts for like each one. It helped expose me to new AI platforms. Like ChatGPT is like the main one. Like since I work at Microsoft, like we also have ours, which is called Copilot. So those are the main two that I use, but like it's expanded like my realm of knowledge when it comes to AI apps. There's Anthropic, which is Claude. There's Perplexity. Canva has like AI
Yeah.
functionality embedded within. There are full-on automation tools, like AI tools that will manage projects for you as long as you there's a lot of setup that's a little more technical.
That's the overwhelming part for me as like a very tiny like business owner. Like I don't know which ones to use. I know chat, but it seems like every tool that we use, it's AI powered. Like the
Yes.
Canva, email, even like therapy notes now. Like therapy notes is a platform. It's almost like an online therapy office really, where you see your clients, you have all your notes and everything. And I was writing my notes the other day and it's like, would you like whatever the name is to help you write this note? I was like, oh, okay, well, here we go. So
Exactly.
would you recommend, like, I guess for someone who is just starting out in small business, would you recommend just having like something for email, something for content, and then something for write, like what else? I don't know.
Admin.
Those are really the only things that I use right now.
Right, right. Yeah, you can have one for content creation, one to help you with admin tasks. So similar to like the therapy notes that you mentioned, you'll want a tool that can like hook to your video calls or phone calls and be able to transcribe and take notes and action items from
Hmm.
those from the calls or meetings that you have. That's really clutch actually, because then you won't have to really reference the recording of the conversation. You can just query or prompt the AI assistant and be like, okay, what did so and so say about X topic? Like what are my to-dos after this conversation? What should I be focusing on? It can really help you with prioritization, which is something that I use like ChatGPT and Copilot for, like when I'm at work. So yeah, staying organized in that way, and with the
Yeah.
communication aspect, the emails, like you can use it to draft email communications to clients, like new clients, keep conversations going with your existing clients. Yeah, there's so much that you can do with AI, but I'd say those are like the basics.
Yeah, yeah. I like Notion. Have you ever used Notion before?
I use Notion for like managing my content calendar and like ideating. So it's like a little bit of ChatGPT, a little bit of Notion AI to ideate around ideas for my social page.
Yeah, I feel like as a creative, I I just sometimes I have way too many things like out and open, and I'll like start a page and name it like in my Google Docs, and then I'll
Yeah.
forget I even did it. And then I'm looking for information. Sometimes I'm like, what page did I put that on? So Notion really helps me. It's like my digital filing cabinet. But I also like that you can make it pretty. You can add even like vision boards on there. It's like it feels like so many apps all in. So I do love that about it. You're not just a tech leader. You also show your personal life, your travel, your style, and you have such great style. I love just how you decorate your apartment and your loft. How do you decide like what to share? Because you've been sharing for a long time on social media, and I know you have a great following. So how do you decide like what to share?
Let's see. So the internet can be a great place and a dangerous place at the same time. So I always look at like the content that I'm creating from that lens, or what I'm recording and what I'm choosing to post from that lens. It's like, okay, am I okay with the internet like taking this and running with it? Because you never know what post is really going to be that for you. So I always think about that as like, is this something I want to follow me forever? And like just based on that that inner thought, it's like, okay, maybe not, maybe I won't post this video of me crashing out or like whatever chaos may be happening in the street. I'm like, oh yeah, let me film this. Like, no, that won't be me. But I think of it from a sense of like the pillars that I post on. Like I post about AI for small business. I post some lifestyle, daily life here and there. Like I work from home. So like what does that look like? I'm new to Dallas. What am I exploring in this new city of mine? Still in the process of decorating my loft, even though it's been like a year. I should be done now. But it's like, okay, I want to take people on that journey with me. So I try to pick content pillars and ground my content in that. Every now and then you may see something that's kind of like off brand. Like I'm considering getting a puppy. I just put a deposit down yesterday. So it's like that will weave into like my content as well. But that might be just a story post versus a feed post.
No, that's good advice. I think for me, it's like I have to be intentional about what messaging I'm trying to relay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it does feel like because I do believe in like being your content. I hate like thinking about I have to make content, but if I just turn on my camera and show what I'm doing, even if it's like, behind the scenes of whatever, that's content. So I've learned to do that, but then every now and then I'm like, is this like why I don't want to share this? Like, so I'm constantly back and forth in my head about it. So it's nice to know like I'm not alone with that.
Yeah, definitely not alone. There's a lot in my drafts. I'm like, do I want to post this? Like I recently recorded a rant about how bad Texas people drive, and I was like, this isn't what I want out there. Like this could take it and run with it. And it's like everybody will always look at me like the girl that criticizes Texas drivers. Like, can you drive? It's like actually I can't. You guys are horrible. But yeah, I don't want that out there. So that it was in the drafts. I deleted it.
So funny. So what would you say is like the most difficult part of your industry and also just being like a woman in a male dominated industry? What would you say is the most difficult part of that?
There's multiple layers because not only am I a Black woman in this space, it's like I have people doubting what I'm saying because of that. There's like a level deeper because of my focus area. So I'm speaking specifically about like my role in Microsoft. So again, I focus on small businesses within that role as well. So there's the element of like Microsoft is a big enterprise company. Like most of our customers are enterprise customers. There's the enterprise arm, there's the small business arm, and the consumer arm. The small business and consumer side of the business they're smaller. So because we attract like enterprise customers, there's a sense of, oh yeah, it's small business, like we're not gonna listen to them, like what they mean doesn't matter, they don't know anything, like what they're saying is like invalid. So there's the element of, okay, I'm a Black woman in tech and I'm focused on small business. So it's like, why should I listen to you? So there's always that aspect of I have to influence without having the authority or like the title of a senior product marketer or a director of product marketing or even senior director and upward. So that influencing without authority has been something that I have had to learn over time. And like the more I'm in this role, the more I'm learning different facets of product marketing. It's like I'm becoming more confident in those concepts because it's like rinse and repeat at this point. I'm constantly doing it. But yeah, the challenge is and will likely continue to be getting my voice heard and getting a seat at the table when I know what I'm talking about. So you should listen to me. Everyone should listen to Black.
Words to live by. I agree with that. What what grounds you and like what helps you overcome those pressures, especially like the pressures of needing to prove yourself or to be productive? What do you do that helps ground you and center you?
So the first thing that I like to do is to keep my work since I work from home, I like to keep my workspace and my like living space separate. So my desk is in like the far corner of my loft. Like as soon as you walk in my apartment, you see my desk. And then beyond like one of the bookshelves that I have is everything else. It's my bedroom, it's my living room, it's like the dining area, it's like my favorite cozy corner with my chair. I'm like window like people watching outside the window. Like that's where life happens. This is just where I work and occasionally take interviews like this one. So you have to keep that point of separation. And then beyond that, I've subscribed to ClassPass. So I'm always going to a fitness class of some sort, like 2 to 3, maybe 4. If I'm feeling like it, going to like a fitness class that really takes my body and mind out of the stress of work and life in general. Also love touching grass, love going to the park and just like having my feet in the grass and just taking in the breeze. If I'm going to, there's a park around here called White Rock Lake. They have a huge lake and like a running and biking path alongside it. So I just ride my bike around there, maybe stop for a little bit, lay out in the grass, and just be by
Mm,
just taking the serenity of just like being in that space. It's very grounding. I also see a therapist. Yep, that's
mhm,
important.
mhm, mhm.
I see a therapist every like week and a half to talk through like what's happening at work, what's happening in life, what's happened in the past, so I can keep like building the building blocks to like get over some of those past traumas, which definitely shows up in like my work. So don't want it like holding me back in my personal life or work life. So it's always important to have a therapist or coach or a mentor of some sort that you can vent to and like have as a sounding board. That's been really helpful to me.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I know I'm biased. Obviously, I'm a therapist, but I think it's just so important. It's so important to have your go-to person. And sometimes it's like friends and family. You might just feel bad. You feel like a burden. And not to say you are, but sometimes it's like you feel that way and you want to have your go-to person to talk to. So, and also a professional. So, definitely. I love that you pet grass. That's the most
Yeah.
Bree thing that I've heard you say. Yeah, it's nice to just get out in nature. I'm a huge component in moving your body. I think trauma lives in the body. So even just stress, like work, day-to-day stress, it's so important to just move your body, get it out of your muscles and your tissues and everything. So I'm right there with you with that.
Probably why I have a migraine. I need to do a little bit more body movement.
Yeah. So what do you hope other women, or what do you hope other women, especially women of color, see when they see you in that space, in that tech industry world?
I hope they're able to see what's possible. I hope they see the representation. They can see themselves in me, in other women in the industry, in the work that we do, and that it is possible for them to get there, and also to sort of reap the benefits of like the work that we've put in so far, so that it's not so challenging for them to get in the industry. And when they do get in the industry, maybe there'll already be a seat at the table for them to just get the role, occupy it, and then drive impact like so many of us have done already.
I love that. If someone is trying to break into that industry, do they have to go back to school and get an MBA? Like, what are some ways that they could find themselves in that industry?
Yeah. So going to business school, like getting your MBA, is one of many paths. You don't have to do that. I more so did that because I wanted to go back to school. It's always been on my list. And I also did want to like short break from adult life for a little bit and just live off loans, take class, be a student again. But you don't have to do that. There are tons of certificate and like boot camp programs that are out there now that are tech focused. It could be product marketing, it could be AI in general, like prompt engineering is another avenue. Cybersecurity is really big right now. So just I would recommend like finding which part of tech you want to be in and looking into certificates and boot camp programs that could help you get the skills needed to perform the job, perform it well. And maybe there will be like the pathway or a pipeline into to tech, whether it's a startup, a big tech company, or like a mid-sized company.
Are there any other resources that you can recommend? Resources that help you? Any books, any podcasts, any speakers, anything like that?
Yeah. Let's see. So for me, I subscribe to a lot of different email lists. So like I subscribe to TechCrunch, Marketing Brew. I'm always staying plugged in with like what's happening within Afrotech because there are a lot
Uh,
of innovations and companies that they're spotlighting. So you always want to stay up to date on like what's out there, what's changing. I subscribe to a few different creators in tech. So aside from like the content that I put out, I subscribe to Tiffin Tech. Um, Teach to AI is mostly like spotlighting different AI products and like teaching you scenarios on how to use them, similar to like the content that I put out. She's a lot faster at. Let's see what else. Like I don't listen to as many podcasts as I would like to, at least none for tech. So that's something that I'm also thinking of exploring more this year is finding like a tech podcast I can kind of like play while I'm working or while like I'm working out or just like people watching in my corner.
But I mean, sometimes it's like I don't listen to podcasts in my industry either. Sometimes I just want to listen to something that makes me feel like at ease. What are some shows you like or like that help you feel inspired or something like that?
Shows that help me feel inspired. I have a long list of like go-to shows. Let me see. So I recently just finished Forever. What else? I recently started watching again How to Get Away with Murder. Yes, Viola Davis. I love her. Girlfriends is always fun. Single, just going back to like those old school sitcoms. Different World. I'm always watching that. It more so watches me. It's kind of like a show that I put on as I'm like doing things around the apartment.
That's like childhood right there.
Yes, exactly.
Especially girlfriends. So you mentioned a few grounding techniques. And therapy was one. What's the biggest lesson you feel like you're learning right now, just in general?
One lesson that keeps coming up is trusting the timing. I think I was watching you or listening to you and Janet's podcast from I think it was a few weeks ago, and it was
Mhm.
that Janet really loved cooking and like that process. That is the opposite for me. I like having the idea and then hurrying up and getting to like the output. I'm not one of those people that likes the in between work. So like even with like building my new page from scratch and then eventually evolving it into an AI consultancy, it's like this whole process is like my least favorite part of it. Like even the content creation part, like process. I have a whole checklist of things I need to do before I post something. I like recording it. I don't like anything in the in between because I get excited when I'm recording it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be good. And then I have to go through the process of like editing, figuring out the hashtags, the captions, all that. And then I post it and then I feel better because like it's a done product. It's out in the world. So the lesson that constantly comes up is like trusting the in between and being comfortable with the in between and not trying to force it to be done. Yes, put it out there if it's still a work in progress, but don't rush to be at the finish line. Cause then when I get there, I'm gonna be like, okay, what's next? And then it's just gonna be a constant, a constant.
I love that. I'm the same. Like that's like my spiritual work right now because like you, I want everything just done. I like get anxious and I'm like, all right, just do it. Like just put it out there. And a part of that I think comes from some perfectionism where it's like if I could just take one more class, if I could just, make it more perfect, and then I stall and then it doesn't happen. So something that I'm doing now is like forcing myself, like, okay, after you do all of the things, if you say you're going to post it on this date, do it. Like, no questions asked. But I think I'm losing enjoying the process. And that's something that I have to get back to too. Just like really trusting the process too and not deviating from what you plan to do. What does hustle mindfully mean to you?
Hustle mindfully. But I like to start with the mindful part because I love like setting my intention for something that I'm gonna pursue. And it always has to like connect back to like passion or purpose for me. That was also one of the reasons why I picked the role that I'm in when I had the opportunity to select it. Yeah, so always being grounded in like what your purpose and passion is, and then the hustle like is the everyday grind. It's the work and the execution that you're doing to either fulfill that passion, fulfill that purpose. So yeah, I'd say just intentional grind is what I hear when I is what I think of when I hear that.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Well, Bree, thank you so much for being here. It's always fun chatting and catching up. We have to do more of it. I want to come out to Texas and visit one day. I mean, your loft looks beautiful. I haven't been there in years to Texas, but I'll come out for you one day. I'll bring the little Rugrats.
Yeah, do it. Maybe I'll have my puppy then, and we can all just have playtime.
So, Bree, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, you can find me on TikTok or Instagram at creativelybrie.ai.
Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening. If you like this episode and you don't want to miss another, make sure you subscribe. See you next time.